Hey! Hey there, folks! New, all, save, continue, save, continue, save, all, new, all, new, all, save, continue, save, all, new, all, new, all, save, continue, save, save, all, new, all. Hey there folks, this is GreenyXI welcoming you right back to Let's Play Higurashi. This is episode 188. In the last episode, we took care of all the final bits of preparation that we had, and now we're heading on to chapter 10, which I think is going to be the final chapter. That doesn't mean this will be the last episode, but you know, the start of the last chapter at least. So I was actually going to stop recording that session at the end of the last episode, but I've carried on because I'm so sort of pumped up now. So let's get going. It was past midnight and almost dawn. The very quiet time of the night where staying up late and getting up early melded together. That exact thing was happening in the offices of the Okanagi gardeners. There were only 2 people on guard duty, and they were playing cards. They weren't sentries, so they really didn't need to be on guard all the time. However, they weren't allowed to fall asleep either. After the TV broadcast went off the air a little past midnight, they usually ended up playing cards. Suddenly the phone rang. The phone was right nearby, so one of them answered immediately. Thank you for calling. This is Okanagi Gardeners. Yes. What? Suddenly the man taking the call stood up with a jolt. He even hit his knee against the desk, but he was too panicked to care. Takano dashed into the underground security room in a hurry. I'm sorry to bother you, Major. Forget the coffee. Give me an update. Are you sure about this? Yes. At 4:15 AM, a body that was found in the Okanami jurisdiction was identified as Ah. Rika! How could that be? Ah is homesick with a cold, isn't she? You were observing her, weren't you? Ah, Major, there's more. According to an intelligence agent at Okanami PD, at least 48 hours have passed since her death. Takano could feel her blood freezing, starting from her feet. She just couldn't believe what was happening. At least 48 hours? At least 48 hours since the death of the Queen Carrier? Takano just couldn't understand. That can't be right. Why are the villagers still so composed? They could have developed terminal symptoms as early as after 36 hours, which was last night. But according to the intelligence agent, this is reliable information, and the station was even put under a gag order because they were fearful of the religious impact it could have on the village. What do you mean? Then who do you have to have observing that house? Major, our observation system is perfect. Rika Furuta is there at the house. Ever since we started, she hasn't even stepped out of the house once. Director Irie confirmed it himself. It's just impossible. Then how do you explain this? The police department is saying that the body is Rika, that it has been over 48 hours since her death, right? You tell me that they're lying? A lie? A lie? That's it. Maybe it's a mistake. I was planning to fake my death using an operative from the Gifu Police Department tonight. This is the same thing. Yes, it's a lie. It must be a mistake. Takano wasn't confused because she was still half asleep. No, Takano was afraid. Her grandfather wrote in his article that within 48 hours of the Queen Carrier's death, everyone in the village would develop terminal stage symptoms. This would mean that he had been wrong. But what about everyone who believed his words? What would they think? Excuse me, Major. There's a phone call from Nomura-sama in Tokyo. Gah. Why is that woman calling me now? While I'm on the phone, check the body the police found immediately. We can't, not right now. When our agents come in, we'll have them approach the station and observe what's going on. And what time is that? 5? 6? It needs to be done as soon as possible. Tell them to hurry up. Good morning. Takano here. All the unit members were gathered in the office of Okanagi Gardeners, which served as a garrison for the mountain dogs in Okanami. I see. As soon as you find out something from the police, call both me and the Major. By the way, regarding the observation system at the R residence, why didn't you confirm that she's home? We assumed she didn't pick up the phone because she was sick with a cold. Director Irie went by and confirmed her presence, so we just took him at his word. Naive. So there is someone at the R residence, that's for sure, right? Yes. There's someone there. Commander, why don't we enter the residence? We still have a little time. We can't do that without approval from the Major. I'm sure she won't let us until she confirms the matter at the Okanami PD. In preparation for that order, increase the number of observers at the residence. At least 8 people. Commander, there will be a festival at the shrine later today. We can observe, but I don't think it will be possible to enter until tomorrow, around midnight. Shit, what lousy timing. Wait, this is too much of a coincidence, don't you think? Okanagi's rusty yet wild instincts were sounding an alarm. He sensed that someone was attacking them. He sensed that his enemy had begun to attack. He realized that the enemy had taken the initiative. People usually take a deep breath before they attack. That moment right before they strike is their most vulnerable. Okanagi assumed that whoever his enemy was, they were led by an excellent commander who knew the precise moment to strike. By the way, about First Lieutenant Tamataki, they said he didn't show at the clinic's meeting the other day. Is that right? I'll have someone check on him. The Major asked me if I knew where he went. Do you think it's First Lieutenant Tamataki? Have Nightingale check Tamataki's hotel room. Shit, he tricked us. Boop, 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 boop. I love the soundtrack to this game. Well, we can't turn back now. Let's see what happens next. Kumagai was trembling with excitement. Kuma-chan, I'm going to check the communication center. Hold on the fort. You bet. Nobody will get through here over my dead body. All I have to do now is handle the phone calls. I'm going back to my post. Kumagai, take care of this place, okay? You can count on me. Kumagai closed the door quietly and stood in front of it. This was his chance to show Oishi what he was made of. Oishi was on his way to the communication center. All radio communications and phone calls pass through here first. During business hours, each section answers its own phone calls, but when they aren't open, the communication center answers them instead. How's it going here? Well, there was an outside call for forensics calling directly just a few minutes ago. Who called? It was Chief Inspector Otaka. Ah, Otaka-kun. Ushi grinned. The enemy had started to move. They must have bribed someone inside the police department to be their spy, and yet started to move just as they planned. Ushi was surprised to learn that it had been Otaka. Ushi had never liked Otaka, because he constantly boasted about his academic background, and was opposed to Ushi, who believes in relying on experience. They didn't get along at all when they worked together at the prefectural police department. The phone call had ended. I'm going to ask the old man. Let's see. Hello? Oh, it's me, don't worry. So how was it? That greenhorn sure puts on airs. So I just snubbed him. The idiot sure got mad. He'll come here as soon as the marshal gets in. That's so like him. He can't even fight by himself. This is getting more interesting by the minute. That phone call woke me up completely, just like you said. There are plenty of suspicious goings on out there. I can just feel it. Well, things are getting interesting now. What's up next? Hey, demons, over here. Come further in. Hello, this is Tamataki. Good morning, First Lieutenant Tamataki. Sorry to bother you this early. I'm calling to let you know that the mountain dogs have made a move. Just a little while ago, all the members were called in because of an emergency. We don't know the reason yet. I see. So it's finally started. Tamataki turned on the light next to his bed and put on his glasses as he answered. Also, there's been a rumour going around in the police department over there. We haven't confirmed it yet, but the Queen Carrier's dead body was found. What? Tell me more. Supposedly, an unidentified body turned out to be Rika Fude. They say she died over 48 hours ago. It's past the time limit in Emergency Manual 34, but there's been no change in Hinazawa so far. Have you heard anything? No, I mean Akanamaya, so I didn't know. But that isn't possible. It must be some kind of mistake. That's what we think too, but according to our analysis, this information is very reliable, and it's almost a certainty. We haven't confirmed it yet, but multiple forensics department workers have testified. Tamataki realised something. He realised that the Okinamaya police station was Oishi's territory. He also realised that this must be the work of Rika and her friends. Tamataki tried to think calmly. Even if they didn't know who their enemy was, it's obvious the emergency manual is a signal for an explosion. So they must have come up with the idea to destroy that signal. The foundation of the emergency manual is that unless something is done about it, within 48 hours after the Queen Carrier's death, all the villagers will develop terminal stage symptoms. So if nothing happens after 48 hours, there's no need for the emergency manual. And with that, the mountain dogs have been called in. Hello? First Lieutenant Tamataki? Sorry. Considering the current situation, it'll be hard to tell if anything suspicious is happening at the Area Institute. Please ask the Colonel to check immediately. Also, in case of an emergency, can you make sure the Bloodhounds are ready to deploy? Roger that. We should have more information by 9 AM. If the mountain dogs revolt, it'll become very dangerous there. Please be very cautious. Of course I'll be careful. I'll be careful. I'll talk to you again at 9 AM. It was 6 AM. Tamataki will get another call in 3 hours. Nightingale 1 to all units. Tamataki is in room 406. Observation team, do you see anything? This is Nightingale 4. Nothing from the outside. This is Nightingale 5, nothing on this floor. Nightingale 3, no sound in this room. He's probably asleep. There's a do not disturb sign on Tomataki's door. Perhaps he stayed up very late last night and was planning to sleep in. This was a great chance for the Nightingales. Be sure to capture him alive. It's an order from the Major. Let's go! They tried to break into Tomataki's room very quietly. Obviously, it was a simple job for them to pick a hotel room's lock. The two members at the door communicated with each other using sign language. Even knowing he was asleep, it would be a good idea not to barge in. They opened the door very cautiously and very quietly. The room's interior was organised but tasteless, typical of cheap hotels. The only furnishings were a bed, a small desk, and a coin-operated TV. Clearly, only one person could stay in this room. And there in the bed, Tomataki couldn't be found. What's wrong, Nightingale 3? Respond. Shit, this room's empty. It was still early in the morning, but the room was empty. What's going on? Tomataki likes to take walks, and also takes pictures of wild birds. Could he have gone out to do that? No, that's not it. He might have deceived us. The do not disturb sign was on the door. With that sign there, the housekeepers wouldn't come in the room, so they wouldn't know if it was empty or not. The sign had probably been on there since at least the day before. Knowing that Tomataki was planning to stay a long period, the hotel hadn't really paid much attention. In other words, the room had been empty since then. I bet he changed hotels, expecting an attack. I see. That's why he hasn't been seen lately. Call the Major immediately. Damn it, our plan's been leaked. Okanogi realised that he had been beaten to the punch. The foundation of the emergency manual had collapsed, and with that basis of the final operation was shaky. Okanogi felt that the Major had panicked and rushed into confirming what was going on too hastily. If Tomataki suspected us and went into hiding, then after caught wind of that, he was sure to come grab us by our tails. Everything's just too convenient. Shit, this must be exactly why the enemy planned, or what they planned. Okanogi tried to calm himself. If he was going to investigate in secret, he could assume that Tomataki was still nearby. The department in Tokyo must be the one conducting the investigation, so he must be waiting somewhere for a report from that department. Tomataki was probably at a new hotel, probably somewhere in Okinamaya. Get in touch with Crow in Tokyo. There must be someone reporting to him regularly. Find the number they're calling. If the number's somewhere in Shishibone City, bingo! Okanogi was confident about his hunch. But if what he was thinking is correct, that meant his identity was about to be exposed. It also meant his operation had failed before it even started. But it wasn't a checkmate quite yet. If he could prove that the dead body at the Okinamaya police station wasn't R, then everything would go back to square one. All he had to do was capture Tomataki, then check the body at the station. That was all. Commander, I got a hold of Crow. They won't be able to tell what exactly they talked about, but they say they can find the phone number. They just need a little time. How much time? Just a few hours, they said. Shit. They'd want just a few hours, huh? Tell them I don't want to rush them, but they better be quick. It was a little past 6. It was already light outside, but still too early for the cicadas to start their morning chorus. They had endured the first wave. It was now a matter of how quickly they could recover. Okanogi just hoped that the Major didn't throw a fit. Commander, a message from Crow. They're still looking into the phone number. Also, the research division's routine check in time is at 9 AM. 3 more hours. He looked up at the clock. Even the little things were beginning to bother Okanogi. Every time the second hand moved, he became more impatient, realising the check-in time was getting closer and closer. Also, Colonel Oka, head of investigations, issued a standby order to the Bloodhounds. He hasn't said anything about a mission yet, though. Okay, so that means they can still stand down. If nothing happens, he can just play it off as a drill. We're okay, we still have time. More information. The head of investigations called the Chief of Staff's home line. We don't have the details. We're okay, we're still okay. It's a close call, but we're okay. The Bloodhound's standby orders meant they saw a very high chance of the Irie Institute revolting. The people on site must be practically certain of it. Although it's not as difficult to execute as the emergency manual, ordering out the Bloodhounds isn't that easy. They only did so because they realised that some kind of trouble is afoot. Okanogi was sure that the people who wanted to conclude matters peacefully were trying to settle things down by saying it was just a mistake. An order to the Bloodhounds to stand by without clarifying a mission is like a middle ground in that sense. But the head of the research division had called the Chief of Staff. This was a very dangerous situation for the Mountain Dogs. In other words, the higher ranks of the SDF, or people even higher than them, had decided that the Bloodhounds could take the field. The uniforms are hot-blooded, but the suits always push for peaceful resolutions. They still hadn't decided which way they want to go yet. Our loss wasn't certain yet. Win or tie, everything was riding on the same table. If that was the case, the call coming in at 9 AM from the research division didn't bode well. Okanogi couldn't say why, but he had that impression. It was just his wild instinct doing its job. He could guess that the people in Tokyo were going to ask Tomataki about the situation in detail, and then decide what to do based on that. It was possible that the head of the division, or even the Chief of Staff himself, might come on the phone. Then the Bloodhounds might get an order as soon as the 9 AM phone conversation was over, which would result in his defeat. Tokyo was still unsure. Some were still thinking it was some kind of mistake, or they wanted to think it was some kind of mistake. If Tomitaki didn't answer the phone, they might send some people immediately, but they wouldn't order out the Bloodhounds. There was a chance it could end in a draw. If they found out that the body didn't actually belong to R, then, although it would corner them, they still had a good chance of winning. But they'd lose the possibility of a complete victory. Okanogi knew that Takano's clients hadn't ordered anything else but exactly that. He didn't want to admit it, but the enemy's surprise attack succeeded. Hey. Commander! Shut up, calm down. They aren't sure yet. They're suspicious, but they aren't sure yet. We're still okay. Anyway, whoever gets information first wins. Either way, they find out something first, or we do. We were beaten in the surprise attack, but we haven't yet been annihilated, so don't you dare fly a white flag. We'll just wait. Crow will find out where Tomitaki is. Our guys at the police station will expose the truth about R's death, so all we can do now is wait and endure. Excuse me, Major Takano is on the line. She sounds, extremely angry. Shit, I don't have time to babysit a princess now. Ah. Hello, yes, this is Okanogi. Yeah, well, don't jump to conclusions. It hasn't been decided yet. Why don't you have a cup of coffee first to calm yourself down? Yeah. Okanogi tried to change the subject while pretending to laugh, but all he could hear was Takano's frantic voice. He couldn't even understand what she was trying to say. The second hand on the clock ticked on. Who was going to be able to smile at the end of it all? Today was going to be a long battle. Okanogi's instincts told him so. How are you doing? Who was it? It was our marshal. They're gaining strength. But he's no match for me. Does he really think an office worker can win against a technician? But I'm glad he's playing golf today. If he actually came over, it would have gotten a little complicated. Did he call from a golf course? Is he working or what? I bet Otaka-kun wanted to come over with the marshal. He's probably real upset about now. Since an indirect attack hasn't worked, you think they'll try a direct one? Will Otaka come here? If he can't get a hold of the chief, he'll have to. It's almost 8:30. The main doors will open soon. Morning had finally arrived. The chorus of cicadas had begun. That familiar sound would make one think it was just another day. But it was hardly going to be normal. It wasn't just an ordinary Sunday. Uishi and his men already realized they were grazing the tip of a huge conspiracy. Knowing how Otaka-kun is, he'll probably come through the main entrance. Yeah, that's what a guy like him would do. I'll be here to take care of the phone calls. You guys take care of him, okay? Okay, I'll go welcome him. Kuma-chan, take care of this place. Oh. The lobby of the Okinamaya police was just like that of any other police station. It could hardly be said to have a welcoming atmosphere. Some of the tiles on the floor were broken and cracked, so sometimes people tripped on them. Those spots were covered by pieces of cardboard, and there was a sign that said, "Caution, watch your step." There was also a pot with a dead plant in it. It was far from a friendly lobby. Unlike hospitals and banks, there wasn't a line of people at the counters of the police station, but there were a few sitting on the sofa waiting for the counters to open. And they would open soon. Some workers were standing by on the other side of the counters. Otaka was snobbish enough that Uishi didn't want to deal with him first thing in the morning. If only he was a pretty young woman with big boobs. Oh, yeah. Uishi and his men were on a very important job. If Otaka found out that Rikafude's death had been faked, the operation was finished. They're only able to shake up the enemy now, while Rikafude's death is still on the books. They had to stall for every minute, every second they could, so Tomitaki could seize hold of the tail that was popping out. So if the truth about Rikafude's death was exposed before Tomitaki had that chance, the enemy would recover. The emergency manual would regain its credibility, and although the enemy wouldn't enact it immediately, they would try again for sure. Rikafude had detected the conspiracy ahead of time, but that was a miracle. The divine wins. Japan had prevented Mongol invasions twice in the past with such miracles, but nothing like that happened during World War II. They might not be so lucky next time. They might not get another chance. There might be no next time at all. Unless they defeated them this time, they would never win again. While it was possible to do some serious damage, a tied game would inevitably lead to the enemy's victory. They had to completely expose what the enemy was up to, allowing Tomitaki to call in a suppression unit to defeat them. That was why Uishi had to stop their vanguard here. His job, therefore, was an extremely important one. If the enemy's conspiracy succeeded, Hinamizawa would be destroyed, and more than 2,000 villagers would be executed in a gas disaster. Either way, the incident would never go public, but people's lives depended on him. Uishi was violating his professional duties. However, he had to do what was right. Uishi thought back to when the old man taught him that. Someone who, despite the hot weather, was wearing a suit, came in through the automatic sliding door. He had 2 of his colleagues with him. He was showing off his authority, like he always did. Good morning, Otaka-kun. Well, well. Good morning, Uishi-san. By the way, please don't address me with such familiarity. I'm no longer in a position where you can talk to me that way. Oh, don't be like that, Otaka-kun. We used to play mahjong together, didn't we? Otaka seemed disgusted to hear that. He used to boast about being a good mahjong player, but Uishi once beat him badly in front of many people, which hurt his pride. I would love to chat with you, but I'm in a hurry today, so please excuse me. No, hey, don't say that. Don't you remember the time when you forgot to write certificates for the kendo tournament? You begged me to help you. I wrote them for you backstage, and that was why the award ceremony went on smoothly, didn't it? I truly appreciate that, but that has nothing to do with this right now. Oh, I didn't know you appreciated it. Sorry about that. I've never heard anything like that before. Down at the prefecture station, they think I begged to write it, that you turned the offer down and let me write it for you. Wasn't that the excuse you used when the director called you up asking what happened since my handwriting on the certificates wasn't so great? Well, I don't know. Maybe someone misunderstood. At the very least, I never said such a thing. Awkward. The prefectural police headquarters may be your territory, but unfortunately, this is the Okinamaya PD. You won't get your own way here. Oh, what do you mean by that, Uishi-san? I don't know why you're here, but your jurisdiction's in Gugura, not Okinamaya. I would like to ask you to leave. What? Under what authority? And what authorization do you have to be here? I'm in the middle of a classified investigation on behalf of headquarters. I've heard that there's an unidentified body related to that investigation here. Well then, please inquire on the phone. Okinamaya isn't a rich neighborhood. This isn't a place where someone in a custom-made suit should be. I see. So you're ganging up with the guys in forensics, huh? There should be an order from the marshal to hand over the autopsy report to the prefectural police headquarters. Then there should have been an explanation to the marshal from the forensics department already. The body is still being examined. Because of a slip-up on our part, there's been a rumour going around that the body was already identified. Anyway, they needed a little more time to finish up the report. Then I would like to attend the autopsy. No. What? I'm requesting it as the person in charge of the classified investigation at the prefectural headquarters. If that's the truth? Look, I don't want to doubt your policeman's spirit. A policeman's spirit is a noble one, see? Sure, no one would go into this business if we weren't getting paid for it. But you know, you can't be a good detective without dedication that can't be measured by your pay alone. If you say you have your spirit, I'll let you through. The look in Uishi's eyes made clear the anger that was roiling within him. As he looked into those eyes, Otaka recalled all kinds of frightening memories. Otaka didn't want Uishi to sense his fear, but he couldn't prevent himself from loudly swallowing. Okay, then please let me through. I'm here because of my policeman's spirit. Please step aside. Why don't you make me with your policeman's spirit? Come on. What? If your policeman's spirit is as strong as mine, you should be able to brush me aside easily. Come on, try it. Uishi was obviously saying that he had no intention of letting Otaka through. How could he do this? Otaka was confused. Otaka was an elite policeman at the prefectural police headquarters. He believed academic background and performance record were enough to entrust. He's been working hard under that belief. But Uishi doesn't acknowledge that. He doesn't even respect him. He's a scumbag. He was the worst type of person, one who tried to establish their meaning and purpose only through rough means, refusing to acknowledge everything about their superiors in order to protect their own pride, as unciviled people often did. Otaka had been thinking ever since they worked together. Why did people trust in someone like Uishi? Why did people respect someone like him? Why did people appreciate someone like Uishi more than they did Otaka? Move. If you don't, I can accuse you of interfering with an investigation. Oh? What kind of investigation? If you tell me, I'll help you. Didn't you hear me? It's classified. I can't talk about it to someone like you. I see. Well, if you can't tell me everything, you can tell me one thing instead. What do you have resting on your shoulders? On my shoulders? What are you talking about? I have something on my shoulders. The fate of 2,000 villagers rests there. If I let you through, those 2,000 villagers, no, your relatives as well, they'll be very sad. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? I have no idea what you're on about. Okay, I'll tell you. Your boss has planned something terrifying. I bet you haven't thought it through that far, but it's a conspiracy that will make thousands of people unhappy. The conspiracy is about to crumble, and that's why they woke you up in order to investigate. I don't know how much you're getting paid for this, but if that's more important than your policeman's spirit, Uishi stopped talking there. But his eyes continued to speak after that. What in the world are you talking about? Anyway, please just let me through. Otaka's baffled behaviour confirmed that Uishi had just said. He had been bought off by someone shady. Though maybe he didn't think that he was bored. He probably thought he was just filling the request to confirm Rikafude's body as a favour from someone in the information network, he assumed, he built himself. Of course, the part about it being classified investigation was a lie, but when an elite policeman from the prefectural headquarters said it was a classified investigation, everyone would grovel and salute him. But Ushi didn't salute him at all. This is a waste of my time. I'll file a formal complaint to the marshal later. What? Hey, wait a minute. I'm not done yet. As Otaka tried to walk by, Ushi grabbed him by the arm. Otaka tried to make him let go, but Ushi was just too strong. Ow. Let me go, Ushi-san. Oh, I'm not putting that much strength into it. If you have a policeman's spirit, they shouldn't stop you. Your unshakable righteousness should knock me down easily. But you can't even get my hand off your arm. Do you know why? Get off of me. It's because you don't have a policeman's spirit. Ushi let go of his shoulder, and Otaka tumbled onto the floor, sliding for more than 2 meters. What is this? This is interference with an investigation. This is interference with a government official executing his duties. No, this is assault. Arrest him immediately. Otaka ordered his 2 colleagues around, but they didn't know what to do. Ushi was also a policeman, and obviously there was something more going on between them. Besides, they could sense one thing. Their instincts were telling them that Ushi was far stronger than them. They were no match at all. What's going on, Ushi-san? Some officers were gathering in the lobby. They all looked puzzled. Nothing much. This greenhorn from the prefectural headquarters demanded something selfish, so I just taught him a lesson. The officers alternately looked between Uishi and Otaka. They knew something was going on, but they didn't know the circumstances, so they didn't know which one to stop. Uishi was respected by the policemen of the Yokonomiya station. Everyone respected him. If Uishi said that Otaka was being selfish, then he must be at fault. Uishi was generally seen as sensible. All of them thought that Uishi would only do this in a public place like a lobby, if it was something major. Otaka was feeling humiliated to get such attention. He stood up calmly, hiding his humiliation with anger. I see. I understand your position, but I'm not here on a child's errand either. I like your spirit. I'm ready to go if you are. Bring it on, Greenhorn. Oh! Not enough. That all you got? Is it a fisty fight? Damn it. So that's your policeman spirit? I have 2,000 Hinamizawa villagers resting on my shoulders. The lives of 2,000 people in my jurisdiction depend on me. Why didn't you tackle me with a spirit that's strong enough to knock down 2,000 people? Oh! It was like watching a match between a sumo wrestler and a small child. No matter how many times Otaka tried to tackle Uishi, he simply crumbled against him. Uishi stood firm, as if his feet were rooted to the earth. By the 3rd time Otaka tumbled to the floor, he finally realised that he had been provoked. He caught his breath and fixed his hair. Okay, I'll tell you. The case I'm investigating has something to do with the Sonzaki family. I was asked by someone to check on something. Why are you beating around the bush? Can't you say it more directly than that? At any rate, they're questioning the death of that girl said to be the mascot for the religion here in Hinamizawa. I have to confirm if she's dead or alive immediately. I told you, we explained that over the phone. It's still under investigation. They need more time. Well, I didn't want to tell you this. This request was... I'll tell you the truth. It was requested by someone you really hate, Representative Sonzaki. Ah, that scary man with the crest on his hakama, huh? Yeah, you're right, I do hate him. If that man threatened me, I'd have to abandon logic and push his demands through too. See? See? Representative Sonzaki requested I check the body immediately. This is a request by a citizen. The police department is there for the citizens. Of course, I accepted his request. Rikafude isn't just any girl in Hinamizawa. She's a very special little girl. If a rumour goes around saying her dead body was found, of course someone has to go confirm it. Right? You'd do better to not say things like that in a public place. You're in a lobby, you know. Excuse me. Otaka suddenly realised his mistake. Some people were even whispering behind him. One of them spoke to Otaka hesitantly. Is it true that Rikafude-chama is dead? Don't worry, madam. We haven't confirmed that yet. We're from the prefectural police, and that's why we're here. That's right. It's not certain yet. We're still investigating as we speak. I'm only asking to attend the autopsy. You'd better think carefully. I'm here on behalf of Representative Sonzaki. If you keep interfering, I'll tell him all about it. If that happens, you'll be in a tight spot, Uishi-san. Don't you think it's time to surrender? Representative Sonzaki was well known in this area as an extremely tough congressman. The people who knew about him continued to whisper. Otaka grinned when he heard them whispering. He realised then that in Yokonomiya his threat was more effective than he thought it would be. Oh my, Did you really ask him to do that, Saburo-san? Sir, excuse me. Did Representative Sonsaki really ask you to do that? He certainly did. The representative asked me directly. So what about it? Ushi-san, isn't it time to surrender? People continued to whisper. Representative Sonsaki is a big name around here, Otaka thought. Even gangsters give way if someone mentions his name in Okinamaya. So if you're really afraid of the representative, please let me through, Ushi-san. Please go to counter number 8 to get a traffic ticket reissued. Huh? When did I get a traffic ticket? Ushi suddenly started to talk about something completely different. In fact, Ushi was looking at something behind Otaka. Huh? Who's he talking to? Otaka wondered. An old-fashioned elderly man and a lady in a kimono was standing behind him. When Otaka's eyes met with hers, she smiled at him. She's definitely my type, Otaka thought. This makes sense now why they had that pleasant sort of situation and conversation at the graveyard, doesn't it? Because now she's coming to help. Hey you! Were you really asked by Representative Sonsaki personally? Not by his secretary or someone else? Yes, of course. Representative Sonsaki and I are very close. He sometimes calls me directly. The elderly man continued to listen with a puzzled expression. Who the heck are you? Huh? There's no need for me to introduce myself. I'm just an ordinary policeman from the prefectural police headquarters. What? Incredible timing. I mean, I can only laugh. So I can laugh, right? I wasn't sure. Otaka couldn't understand why Ushi and this lady were laughing. What are you doing here together? Well, you know, remember that ticket? I didn't see the no left turn sign because of a tree branch. And there was a policeman on a motorcycle waiting right at the exit, and I didn't think that was fair. Saburo-san said I should complain, so that's why he came along today. Roadside trees are the City Hall's jurisdiction. We get those complaints pretty often, but it's a rather complicated matter. I didn't like the fact that a policeman was waiting at the exit, so I'm here to complain about it. I understand. I'll talk to City Hall in the traffic section. So do you think you can settle this peacefully for today? If you say so. We'll leave quietly for today. When Otaka realized they were Ueshi's guests, he fixed his tie and spoke up. But you have to pay for your traffic ticket. It's a law. You sure are annoying, aren't you? He is, isn't he? Sometimes he can be pretty funny, though. I'm in the middle of an important conversation with Ueshi-san. When you're done, please get going. Have a nice day, madam. Grab. Aha. You have a nice day too, sir. Grab. The two of them grabbed Otaka's shoulders from behind. The lady grabbed his right shoulder, and the elderly man grabbed his left. Mr. Prefectural Policeman, I have two things I detest in this world. Do you know what they are? Huh? One is shiitake mushrooms. I just don't like them. Never have, ever since I was born. Don't like to eat them. I don't like their broth either. The second one is lies. I don't like to use them. I don't like people using them with me. How can I step back after being ridiculed like this? I'm the demon princess of Shishibone, Akane Sonozaki. I'd never back off when someone starts a fight with me. Don't say this about yourself. Also, that would have been perfect if you'd used a Sit-Sun instead of the demon princess. Huh? Eh? Huh? The police officers, the Sit-Suns in the lobby, and Otaka's colleagues didn't know what was going on. Let me introduce them. This is Akane Sonozaki-san. She's the vice president of the Shishibone City Women's Kendo Club. And this is Saburo Sonozaki-san. He's an honorary director of the Prefectural Kendo League. Oh, I should mention his formal title. This is Shishibone's 2nd District Representative, Sonsaki-sensei. The fact that he didn't even notice who he was, you know, obviously a lie. Eh? Well, you're here to give Otaka-kun his lesson, right? He's the instructor for the Prefectural Police's Kendo Club after all. Ha! Thank you for coming. Here, please show them to the dojo. Eh? Representative? The same. Didn't you say we were close? I think we'll have lots of fun together today. Oh, I'm so excited. The two of them are still clinging to his shoulders and laughing meaningfully. Otaka laughed along with them. Confused laughter. Yeah! That was a good midway point, I like that. So, Rika still might be dead, according to the enemies. And that's where we're gonna end things off with that rather angry Mayo. So, this has been Greeny XI. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in a wee bit. when we get back to chapter 10, we see how it all ends up. I'm assuming it's the last chapter going by achievements, but I don't know, they might be doing it differently in this arc to every other arc. God knows. So, thanks again for watching, folks. See you again in a bit.